So what I'm making is my favorite Carnitas pork recipe, which we're gonna put in tortillas later. The reason that I love this is because you actually get really good traditional authentic Mexican flavor and you barely need any equipment. So what you need though is you need the roasting pork, you need a brown onion, you need a lime, you need an orange, cumin, dried bay leaves, dried oregano, salt and pepper, and some water. That's it. We're gonna pop it into the pressure cooker so that it's soft and tender and juicy. And then you need one chopping board, tongs, and a couple knives. Easy. Ugh, I like that sound. All right. And it kind of depends on the amount of pork that you got. I would say that roughly, you could probably go about 1 tablespoon. So the order is actually important because you've got to remember that at the end, we're actually going to be pulling out the larger pieces of orange and onion that we're gonna place on top. So what we wanna do next is we actually want to put in the dried oregano. And be careful because it's really pungent, and I'm gonna actually put in a little bit more, so maybe another ½ teaspoon. And you kind of just got to judge it based on how much pork you ended up with, but you kind of want a slight drizzle over the top of your protein. So I'm just gonna, this is not a science, so it doesn't have to be exact, so I'm gonna do it over the pot, so anything that kind of falls out of the sides, it's gonna get caught up in the pot. So I'm just gonna do about 1.5 teaspoons again of this. Lightly go over everything. And that should be pretty good. It actually works really well to cut off the cheeks. And then it's actually really easy to just take the half like this and squeeze it. So I'm just gonna go in with this cheek. I'm just gonna squeeze it over the pork. But because I knew that I was gonna leave the orange in there and I am lazy and I did not want to pick out seeds, I purchased a variety of orange that's seedless. So if you would like to do the same, saves you a bit of time. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm actually gonna squeeze this as I did the lime and get some. And I'm just gonna drop these in. And I'm leaving them really big so that it's easy for me to then pull out after this is done cooking. So I'm gonna deal with these guys. And that's probably enough orange. And then I'm gonna plop in these big pieces of onion as well, which we're gonna pull out as well afterwards. And then I'm gonna put in the bay leaves. And I'm also putting those on top because it's gonna be easier for us to pull out afterwards. And then I'm gonna take about 2 cups of water. Just cover that up. And pretty much what you're looking for is just for the water to be skimming the top of the pork. Perfect. So we got that. And now we're gonna close the lid and we're gonna pop it on cook. And that's it. Ooh, interesting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, like I said before, we're going to actually take out the oranges, the bay leaves, and the onions, and just leave the pork behind. God, this smells so good. Okay, so what we are going to do actually is we're going to transfer this into like a pan, and we're actually going to reduce the juice that you see, and also caramelize the pork in the process. It looks really good. It doesn't really matter how they come out because you're gonna mash them up anyway. What I'm using to MacGyver this and make it work is a rolling pin, which works just fine. I'm gonna squeeze the lemon in there now so that it stops the avocado from oxidizing and turning brown. Into this, which is my secret ingredient, is a little bit of orange juice, which just gives a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of tartness, which you don't normally see in recipes. And this is really to my taste, so I kind of know how much onion that I want to see in every bite. But depending on how you like your guacamole, you can make it spicier or more mild. Guacamole is done. I've cut up some limes. I've just rinsed some coriander, or cilantro as we call it in California. We've got some La Banderita flour tortillas, because I really like soft tortillas. I don't like the crunchy, hard ones. And then our carnitas is done. So what we did was we poured everything from the pressure cooker into this pot, and then we just reduced it, and you can see on the bottom it's got a really nice golden. I'm heating up the tortilla so that it's nice and soft.
What's the key here?
The key is to not overdo it. So these become really hard really fast and really crispy, so as soon as it starts to like bubble up, you want to turn it.
With your bare hands?
If you're tough like me, but otherwise you can use tongs. So this is my pork carnitas tortilla recipe all the way from San Diego. I hope you guys try it out and enjoy it, and let me know how you guys go.